obscure city is a place where you can find many unique dangers. This is where she works, Cassandra Killjoy, paranormal private eye. Now a teenage girl's father has gone missing, and Killjoy believes that the city's enigmatic protector, the swordsman, is the key to finding him. So Killjoy must face many deadly dangers in her search for the swordsman. Available on Amazon.com.
Even extraordinary cartoons can have extraordinarily bad episodes, and when that happens you get InepToons. Happy Halloween everybody, and Batman the Animated Series, the legacy of excellence that just won't die. And the first time we ever saw this show gloriously resurrected was in the late 90s, when the DC animated team moved from Fox Kids to the Kids WB to produce Superman the Animated Series. And the WB decided that they wanted some of that Batman magic on their network. And that's when we got the new Batman Adventures, or as it is more commonly known, the final season of Batman the Animated Series, as it featured pretty much the same cast and crew and shared direct continuity with the previous series. However, this was a very experimental series, as the creators didn't want to tread over the same terrain. So this show became known for taking chances with characters and plot lines that they wouldn't dare touch during the original run. Case in point, Critters, an Adam West style plot and villains with a Batman the Animated Series setting. A combination that was so reviled by the fan base that the creators spent the entire DVD commentary riffing on their own episode. I am not kidding, look it up.
Batman uses his bat pterodactyl catcher.
Which is both hilarious and refreshing, especially when you stop to consider the level of talent that worked on this episode. And I'm not just talking about the award-winning crew, but the episode was pitched by Howard the Duck creator Steve Gerber. The script was written by Baba Hotep author Joe R. Lansdale. And the third act of the episode was storyboarded by comic book legend Darwin Cook, which shows that even when you assemble an A-team, you can still get a B episode. So let's take a look at this hellacious harmony of horror. Fanboys and fangirls, from the new Batman adventures, this is Critters. So our episode begins at the Agricultural Expo, which I'm sure is a real thing that really happens. But the real question is, why are Commissioner Gordon and Bruce Wayne in attendance? I mean, don't they have better things to do, like fighting crime? I mean, just stop for a moment and try to imagine the conversation beforehand. Hey Bruce, you want to go to the Agricultural Expo? Do I? Anyway, here we meet our baddies for the episode, Farmer Enoch Brown and his curvaceous daughter, Emmy Lou. But Brown is a jack of all trades, as he's not just a skilled farmer and a charismatic carnival barker, but a brilliant geneticist, as he has genetically engineered cattle and poultry big enough to solve world hunger, which he demonstrates by unveiling a cow big enough to be Paul Bunyan's best friend. Unfortunately, while Brown might be great at creating big bovines, he sucks at constructing sturdy cages, as old Bessie escapes. How will Bruce stop this unstoppable behemoth without compromising his secret identity? By goading it into accidentally running into a wall. Huh. That was easier than I expected.
Quick thinking, Wayne.
Actually, I was trying to escape through the window.
Unfortunately, all the mayhem is blamed on Farmer Brown, and the judge throws the book at him, effectively bankrupting the humble farmer.
Monsters, huh? I'll show 'em monsters.
Hey, he just said that aloud. Did anybody hear that? Anybody? No? Okay, moving on. 1 year later, we find Bruce Wayne on a date in which he's having some serious memory lapses.
You've got to have a little faith, Sharon. Karen.
Oh, to have Bruce Wayne problems.
There's a bug!
In your salad?
Behind you!
Get it? Yup. Via extreme coincidence, yet another place where Bruce is spending his free time gets attacked by giant mutant monsters. Gotham, am I right? Bruce quickly changes into Batman and gets to work, effectively defeating one of the mantises by goading it into jamming its raptorial legs into the wall behind him. Is it just me, or is this extremely similar to the way that he defeated the giant cow? Apparently this was too badass of a move for his buddies, who just dropped dead. Cut to the Batcave. There, along with Robin and Batgirl, Batman shows off his mad entomology skills and dissects one of the giant mantises, and discovers that they were actually engineered to self-destruct. And why would somebody do this? Batman simultaneously answers the question and puts the button on the scene.
To show us that he can.
Meanwhile, at the Brown farm, Emmylou feeds Brown's latest genetic monstrosities, while the fearsome farmer unleashes his next attack on Gotham. A giant cow and a giant bull. Let the bad puns commence!
Holy cow!
That's a lot of bull.
What's next? Is the giant bull gonna crash into a china shop? Dad jokes. They got them. Batgirl stops the giant cow by tripping her with her bola, causing her to fall face first into wet cement. Robin stops the bull by goading it into accidentally running into a wall. Huh. I'm noticing a trend here. And where has Batman been this whole time, you might ask? He's up in the sky, flying around with his trusty jetpack fighting giant chickens, which is one of the 100 things I never thought I'd say. Luckily, he brought his aforementioned bat pterodactyl catcher. Some of you might be wondering, why does he have this? The answer is, because he's Batman! However, Batman misses the third chicken, and it comes after him. But don't worry, he defeats it by goading it into accidentally crashing into a wall. So, did Brown genetically engineer all of his creations to have the exact same weakness? Alright, let's just move on. However, this scene has a slight variation, as what the chicken actually slammed into was a vat of barbecue sauce. The vat ruptures, and the petulant poultry gets covered in meat dressing. Fun fact, Joe Langdale initially intended for the contents of the vat to be hot grease, and for the giant chicken to be deep fried to death. But that apparently was deemed too violent for the episode in which the second monsters who appear auto-dismember themselves. Meanwhile, at police headquarters, Commissioner Gordon and Batman try to determine where the next attack will be. When suddenly, a talking goat walks into the room and demands a $50 million ransom, or Farmer Brown will send an entire swarm of giant bugs.
One person brings money, no tricks, no surprises, no Batman.
Oh my god. Oh, I love it. This is the best thing I ever saw. Later at the Gotham docks, the best character in the episode leads Detective Harvey Bullock in an armored truck full of cash to Farmer Brown's boat. Bullock tries to collar this caper, but gets aced by the goat. But little do they know that Bullock courageously holds onto the boat, and when he gets back to the Brown farm, he immediately gets captured. I'm not kidding. They just jump cut from him holding onto the boat to complete and utter defeat. Nice! Emmylou picks him up with her super strength. Wait a minute. Farmer Brown has the ability to give people superpowers, but he opted to make giant monsters instead? I say this boy is as sharp as a bowling ball. Anyway, Emmylou tries to feed Bullock to a giant genetically enhanced pig, as Brown inspects the money and discovers that he's been bamboozled and lowjacked. And thus, the Bat Fam shows up just in time to save Bullock's bacon from the bacon. Batman goes after Brown, but apparently he wasn't counting on the fact that he's a farmer, a geneticist, and one bad motherfucker. So, are Brown's southern fried kung fu skills better than Batman? Unfortunately, we will never know, as Robin gets taken hostage, and our heroes are forced to surrender. Brown locks the Bat Fam and Bullock in a silo, which is also a rocket ship, because why not? Which Brown intends to use to deliver the bug swarm to Gotham. So, why exactly did he imprison the very people who can stop his plan inside the most pivotal component of his plan? I say bowling ball. Ha! Mad respect to Robert Costanzo's impeccable delivery. That man never misses. Now just guess how Batman is going to get out of this one. If you said goading one of the giant mantises into slamming against the wall, then give yourself a little pat in the back. The mantis politely opens the silo door so our heroes can escape. Batman then drives the armored car into the silo, simultaneously destroying it and stopping the Browns from escaping in the process. How exactly did he achieve both things at once? Because he's Batman! And so our episode ends, with the Browns being arrested, the camera panning to the horizon, and the ominous sound of a rooster crowing in the distance. This episode is not that bad. In fact, I have no shame in admitting that I like it. It's campy DC Silver Age nonsense meets old school easy horror. Peter Breck is excellent as Farmer Brown. Warm, sympathetic, and charismatic, but sinister when the situation calls for it. K.O. Thongham's designs for the monsters are fan-freaking-tastic. Bruce Timm describes his style as Jack Kirby on acid, and I 100% agree. However, my opinions aside, most fans hate this episode, as it is a stark departure from the show's usual street-level crime format. Bruce Timm and Paul Dini have admitted that they initially did not want to produce it, and it was Alan Burnett who convinced them that this episode would work as a tribute to Batman's paranormal adventures from the Bronze Age, where he would take on horror-based villains like Gentleman Ghost and Nocturna. But even he admits that the resulting episode is one of the eeriest ones that they've ever produced. Do I recommend it? Yes, absolutely. If you love Batman and creature features, I promise you, you'll dig it. If anything, you should at least give it a chance to see the greatest expositional scene ever produced for televised animation.
No tricks, no surprises, no Batman.
Next time on InepToons.
I'll record whatever happens so that the greatest war ever fought isn't a secret war.